Some refer to it as the silent epidemic, workplace sexual harassment as a common yet underreported problem.
And
this San Diego woman is suing Starbucks for sexual harassment.
Women claim they were sexually harassed at work and retaliated against when they spoke out.
Former Ontario Premier and TO 2015 Chair David Peterson is being sued for sexual harassment by a female firefighter.
The lawsuit alleged she endured years of sexual harassment over a 13-year career with the Albuquerque Fire Department.
So what is sexual harassment? The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, has defined it as any unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature.
What does it look like at work? Well, I actually work for a cosmetic company. Seeing that because I feel like a lot of the older men that work there can tend to say things that I feel are inappropriate and not really related to what we're doing at the time business-wise. But I tend to not do anything about it.
Why do you think that is?
Well, a lot of the time it's a senior vice president who's been with this particular company or whatever for a long period of time, and when you're challenged with wanting to move yourself up in the company, I think that might create some kind of barrier between me potentially getting promoted. So kind of just let it go, not let it bother me.
How common is sexual harassment in the workplace? 1 in 3 women between the ages of 18 to 34 have been sexually harassed at work. 81% of women experience verbal harassment, while 44% have encountered unwanted touching and sexual advances. 75% say they were targeted by male coworkers, while 38% say they were harassed by male managers. Women who said they've experienced workplace harassment, only 29% reported the issue, while 71% did not.
My name is Grace Kretcher. I am an associate attorney at Barenbaum Lincoln.
How does sexual harassment look in the workplace?
So it basically means you're being sexually harassed by, a coworker or supervisor, and he is telling you, I'll do XYZ for you. If you have sex with me, if you have sex with me, you'll be promoted. If you have sex with me, I'll protect you. And the case arises when, that sort of thing goes on, and the woman says no, or the woman ends the quid pro quo thing. She doesn't want to do it anymore, or anything like that, and she's retaliated against for that. So she's demoted, she's iced out, she's fired, whatever. Right now, the other side of it is a hostile work environment claim. And in that sort of claim, you don't have to show that they fired you, you don't have to show they retaliated against you for, refusing this, or another possibility for retaliation is if you, reported it or, went and tried to get help and then they retaliated against you. That also is a possible claim on that side of things. The hostile work environment claim, basically nothing has to happen. This is the one way that you could sort of make out a claim where, no, they didn't fire you, no, they didn't demote you, no, you can't show, any sort of concrete negative impacts on your actual employment status or pay. But, this was so bad, it went on for so long, they were constantly making these comments, it was awful. There was, that is a hostile work environment claim. Unfortunately, this is probably the reason that these are so hard to make out, is because in a hostile work environment claim, the sort of threshold you have to meet for like how bad this has to be is really high, and it's like offensively high to me. If a woman can show a sort of ongoing pattern of sexual harassment, of even more than 3 or 5 comments, I think that should make out a sort of basic case for her to bring her claim. Because as it currently stands, you really have to plead like very egregious, horrible treatment. And so if it's only a couple incidents, this has to be like, he grabbed your boob, like he was like putting his hand up your skirt, he said something like absolutely horrifying, like, think of like the worst dirty talk you've ever heard. You do have to keep in mind that people will take advantage of it if they can. For me personally, I would put the risk there on people, the possibility of taking advantage of the law, than to put the risk on people who are being sexually harassed, don't get any vindication. You need to report it. Absolutely. Like, tell everyone. And you need to tell your supervisor, if there's an HR, tell your direct supervisor, tell your HR, go make a report to the HR department, absolutely make a report to your EEO officer if he or she exists. And when you're making these reports, document. Any documentary evidence that you have, keep it, retain it, make sure you have a file of it, because like, testimony is evidence, but like documentary testimony is unimpeachable evidence, right?
If the harassment progresses and now involves retaliation, be sure to talk to a lawyer like Barenbaum Mencken, LLP. They are great at getting justice for discrimination and harassment at work.